Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to The Toast. Cut your pants on fire. Tell me you're gonna lie. Tell me you're a liar. Trust me.
I have spent my morning sat in my makeup chair watching BFF's pod.
Same. I don't know how the hell we're supposed to wait till the first story to talk about it. Like, seriously, fuck that square-headed fuck. I hate that ugly loser so much, and I am so proud. So fucking proud. I never liked him, and I never turned on Brianna LaPaglia like you other snitches did. Now I see everyone on social media like, oh, Brianna, bitch, you were the ones who turned on her. I didn't, okay? It's, you know what feels so good? To be on the right side of things.
Well, I still had like 20 minutes left in the pod, but I've got the gist.
Oh, no, by the way. She tells the craziest story.
You'll have to tell me.
2 stories at the end.
Okay, you'll have to tell me when we talk about it. So I haven't even gotten to like what social media's reaction. Like, I have no idea what people are saying. Like, are people riding with Brie?
Of course. They're like, oh, you know, and she has, I mean, should we get into it? Like,
no, just finish this conversation, okay. And then we'll get into like what she said in the podcast. She said
on the podcast like that she really lost herself. Like, if you look at her social media, like you can see like the girl that she was before this relationship is not the girl that she is after it and during it. And everyone's like, oh, you know, I loved Brie, and like I see that, you know, like I could see, like I did unfollow her because I like. You were on the hater train and I wasn't. Like, it feels good to know like I'm not like some of these bitches, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm so proud of her. The $12 million thing. I was at dinner last night.
Jackie, wait. We have to wait. Like,
okay,
seriously.
But now I'll segue out because I was at dinner last night when Margot, we were like both just like waiting for 8 o'clock, but we went to dinner at 7:45 and like Margot was like, oh my God, he offered her $12 million in an apartment in New York and a house and she turned it down. And I was like,
okay, just stop.
Honestly,
just stop.
I was like, I didn't know he had that much money.
Yeah. That's definitely something people are talking about too.
Because I haven't put a red cent in his pocket.
Proudly. Oh yeah, that's another thing to feel good about. Like, did not contribute to the richification or the famification of Zach Bryan one iota over here.
Right. So our hands are clean.
We are going to dive into the full podcast recap in story 1 of the day, I assume. I mean, we are going to be doing Queenie and Weenie, although it's just so clear.
It's so clear, but
it's
maybe
like,
we'll have
to even do the segment is like a slap in the face to the common sense of our listeners.
It's true, but maybe we'll have like more to add as we anoint.
Yes, and I actually was only able to watch the podcast this morning because last night I was out at the theater. Have you ever been to the famous Apollo Theater?
Yes.
You have?
It's uptown?
Yeah, it's in Harlem. What did you see there?
Darius Rucker.
Oh, classic. Well, the Joan Rivers tribute show that I went to last night was at the Apollo. And like when Brian said, like, I have tickets, do you want to come? He sent us the poster and there was like a lineup of people, like pretty like decent lineup. So I was really excited, but they didn't put anybody on the lineup, like who was actually there. It was star-studded and it was all filmed for NBC. There were cameras everywhere. They didn't say exactly what it's going to be.
Who were the stars?
So Tiffany Haddish, Chelsea Handler, Nikki Glazer, Joel McHale, who else? I don't want to spoil it for when it gets televised. And then like a bunch of other comedians who like you know and like, but like big stars.
Yeah, the big names.
Yeah. It was shocking to see.
Who was the best?
That's a really good question. Aubrey Plaza was there. So, and I knew this, and I was being such a know-it-all, like, because between every comedian, they had like a package. It was a big screen, and it was like archival footage of Joan. It was a combination of like so much stuff from her documentary. I was literally like, honestly, if you asked Taylor Donahue, she wished she sat next to someone else. I was literally finishing the sentences. I'm like, but so much of the show was about.
Did you tell her how we had walked through the apartment?
No, I didn't actually. It didn't.
You'll have to text her.
Yeah. But really, the whole show was kind of built around the fact that like Joan wrote so many jokes, and she had this crazy filing system. It's in the documentary. Yeah. She like put them all. She would write jokes, and once they were done, she would put them in this filing cabinet. She would type them up on index cards and file them based on different categories. And they were just like reading some of her jokes. And Aubrey Plaza did a whole segment of like Joan jokes that haven't aged well. It was like really funny. And then, so the whole event was for charity. It was for God's Love We Deliver, which is, if you watch the documentary, Joan's like favorite charity, which started as an organization to like send meals, medicated meals to AIDS patients. And now it's like for the whole city. If you're elderly, if you're sick and you don't have meals, like they deliver meals. And so they were auctioning off some of the OG index cards and the starting price for an index card was $5,000. Like I was gonna like auction, get involved, but then they were like starting price $5,000. I'm like, for an index card?
That's really crazy.
I know. So somebody, you know who bought the first one sitting right in front of me? Lorraine Schwartz.
Oh, wow.
Jewelry designer.
What did one go the most for?
Nothing. So literally nobody was bidding. Like, they should have started at like $1,000.
Yeah.
because after a while, Lorraine Schwartz was like, okay, I'll do it. Then the second one, like nobody did it. And I saw some producer raise his hand. So they obviously like, just to keep the show moving. And then the third person they gave out to free for someone in the audience. Like it was, I didn't want to be cheap, but if they were like 5,000, I wanted to be like 1,000, I would have spent 1,000. Like,
yeah, they should have started at 100.
For charity, like you overpay, but $5,000 for an index card, like is absurd.
Of which there are thousands.
Well, she in her career wrote 77,000 jokes. There are 77,000 index cards.
So, and that would mean the value of all of the index cards is 77.
Well, no, it's not a value because it's not like a real value. It's for charity. So it's like, it's all obscenely overpriced, but they weren't auctioning off 77,000 of them.
No,
just three
but
of them.
like just the idea, it's about value. Yes, you might overpay because it's for charity, but like it's based on the value of something.
Well, you really can't put a price on, honestly, if they were auctioning off the one card that she read in her documentary, when she's explaining to the documentarian like all these different jokes, she pulls out a random one. It is so funny. She's like, why should I learn how to cook? So my husband can say, my wife makes a great roast to some hooker. If they had pulled that one, because I literally remember that joke.
You could buy that for $5,000 and get it framed.
Yeah, I would. But the jokes they were reading, they kind of gave away like 3 not great ones.
Oh.
Yeah.
The curation. You didn't answer my question. Who was the best person?
Oh. Let me really, truly think.
You could even say 2 if there was like 2 really great people.
Oh, sorry. Nikki Glaser. Oh. It's actually insane how Nikki Glaser like is the funniest bitch on the planet. Like, and she went, the thing is, Joan, if you're like a female comedian, like Joan means so much to you.
Yeah.
And that was coming through from everyone. Even Chelsea Handler was like, my entire career, I have been, everyone compares you to Joan, and it's like the greatest honor you could ever. And then Nikki Glaser was like, everybody compares me to Joan, and I'm like, not in a physical way, right? She was being really funny, and it was interesting to see people toe the line between being funny but being really genuine and like really sincere, because Joan means so much to female comics, and like Nikki really slayed it. And she talked a lot about like Joan's plastic surgery and like her openness about that, and like how she gets made fun of for it, but like at the time when she would talk about it, it was so, out there and crazy. And now like everybody lying to you, like saying they drink a lot of water because they have like a perfect face, is like, Joan was just different. And what was so great is like these little packages between. Remember a couple of years ago, we did a story that like somebody bought all the archival like comedy stand-up footage of Joan, and they were like going to do something with it. I feel like maybe this is part of that, because I was like watching clips from her stand-up from her old late night show that I have never seen. It was that was the best part. I was like, can we get more footage of that, please? So I'm sure they're going to put it all together and make it like a nice special. And it was excellent. It was just nice to see like somebody getting there. I feel like we're always honoring people who like stink. Joan was that bitch. Joan was a queen. Like it was, and she would have loved being like revered like that, because she had, she was very turdy and Jax coded. She had a chip.
She had the chip of all chips.
That like she wasn't taken seriously and like really respected for the icon that she was. And I loved that they had,
and like she is really respected, but it's still not enough. Like for what she is and what she was, like she doesn't get enough respect. There could never be enough respect.
Most of the comedians there like had met her and had stories about her, which was so nice, because like Joel McHale and Chelsea Handler went back to back talking about like that time at E where everybody was like working in the same studio, and Joan was like actually a delight and like a pleasure to work with. And then Melissa Rivers closed the show with this like letter that Joan had written, like, if you guys ever do honor me, please read this. Like, and it was really funny. So, and it was star-studded but the craziest thing is that literally the show's about to start, me and Ben sit down, someone taps me on my shoulder. I turn around, who is it? My mother-in-law. I said, what? And she brought me a snack. She knew I was going to be there, but she didn't tell me she was going to be there. She brought me a snack.
Did Ben know she was going to be there?
No, we were shocked. I think she like wanted to surprise us, but she had tickets and we had tickets. Jen, what's her name? Luann de Lesseps was there. Lorraine Schwartz was sitting right in front of me. It was very like New York theater crowd. It was fabulous. And I had never been to the Apollo before. It's really, like, I knew it was special.
Yeah, it is.
And it's gorgeous inside.
Yeah.
So that's what I did last night, and then ran home and started watching a little bit of BFFs, but it was late, so I watched most of it this morning.
Yeah, I watched all of it this morning, and I can't believe there's so much juice at the end that I didn't even get to see, but I was out last night, and then when I got home, I might have started to watch it, but then I saw what was going on in Amsterdam, which we need to talk about, and I had nothing but a pit in my stomach and didn't want to watch anything like fun or funny.
Pittsville, USA.
You might not have seen what happened in Amsterdam last night because, like, per usual, like, nobody gives a damn about the Jews. But there was a pogrom in Amsterdam last night. The Tel Aviv Maccabi soccer team was playing a soccer match in Amsterdam against Ajax, whatever that is.
So like a bunch of Israelis flew to support their team. Yeah. So there was like people knew that, you know, lots of Israelis were in town.
Right. And they were staying in hotels, and like a group, like many groups, I think it was maybe like hundreds of extremists, like organized. It was very organized is what they said, like organized outside of train stations. Like as soon as the fans came out of the stadium, they were like hiding in alleys and like cutting off entry points outside of train stations, outside of hotels where they knew the Israelis were staying, and viciously, physically, violently attacked Jews, stabbing them, running them over with cars. Some of them jumped into the canal while the others stood there. And it was
people
really
were stabbed. People are still missing.
Yeah, like,
Israel had to send 2 passenger planes to literally pick people up to get the fuck out of that shithole.
Because the police were doing nothing the whole time. If you watch the videos, they filmed themselves. It was very like October 7th style,
very Hamas coded.
Yeah, they're filming themselves like making these Jews say "Free Palestine." They're saying this is what's going on in Gaza. So this is what happens when you globalize the Intifada.
The Intifada. It's just beautiful, isn't it?
Bella Hadid's dream, and it was so upsetting to see.
Yeah.
Like,
and then waking up this morning and see how like American news reports it, like the New York Times, those vicious anti-Semites. I fucking hate that.
It's a soccer-led fight. It was a soccer.
Yeah, they make it seem like, you know, when someone goes to a football game and they beat up a fan, like that's not what it was.
No,
at all.
Not at all. It was very coordinated. It's like, you know, just blatant anti-Semitism. Again, but anti-Semitism is not related to anti-Zionism, even though they're breeding up Jews and telling them to free Palestine. But no. It's just a conflict about land, right?
No, if you are a Jew living in Europe, like, it's so dramatic to say, but like, get the fuck out. Like, seriously.
I mean, we've always thought that, but this is one step further. It's that a Jew can't visit Europe, because it wasn't like Jews living in Amsterdam.
And you know what? We'll be okay. We'll be okay. They don't even have air conditioning over there. Come to America. It's great here.
Yeah. No, that you can't even go to a soccer game in Amsterdam. Like, and there were so many comparisons drawn to like Anne Frank. That's the city that she grew up in. Like, and we know how her story ended, and that like Amsterdam isn't safe for Jews in 2024 to live or to even visit.
Yeah,
is so crazy. Like, Europe is so far gone.
Yeah.
Do not go and do not come.
Do not go.
Do not go.
That was really upsetting, and even more upsetting to like wake up and then see like how it's being spoken about. I mean, people don't know, and if they do know, they think it's like a soccer kerfuffle.
Yeah, like I knew about it like from our family chat, so like then I went looking to see what's going on, and like you really have to go like deep in X and like find the tweets of people who are sharing this stuff, but it's not like headline news where it's everywhere you go. Like, it's very possible that you didn't even hear about this yet, and it's so important that you do, because it was like serious, like 1930s style pogrom. That's what they used to be called, like back in Germany, back in Russia, when like gang violence would like organize themselves and attack Jews, attack Jewish businesses. And last night it was Jewish soccer fans, Israeli fans, so much so that Israel had to send 2 rescue planes to get the people out of there, and the police were doing nothing. They broke into the hotels where they were staying, throwing fireworks into the windows of hotels, beating up fathers who are with their children, beating up women. Don't you care about women?
Don't you care about women? No, you don't. It's disgraceful. It was really hard to watch, and like I'm sorry, like trigger warning. No, this is happening. The footage is beyond graphic. These filmed by the people who did it. They are so proud.
They weren't caught. They were proud.
So that happened.
Right. So that's why I didn't watch BFFs last night.
Till this morning. Yeah. I didn't want to like, ruin the experience. Like I wanted to really.
Yeah. And like, I didn't want to associate the two. So then this morning while I got ready, I watched my BFFs, and
it's the perfect thing to watch. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna say one thing, and then let's just get into it.
Okay.
I do have some notes, production wise. Like,
I can't believe they didn't get together.
Were you in a Hamas tunnel? Like, what was with that? The quality? I was shook from Josh Richards' like hotel room blurry.
I can't believe the remote setup like was really pretty seamless, but I can't believe they didn't get together. Maybe they got together for the first one that they kept alluding to.
I can believe that they didn't get together, because for the most part they don't. But like wherever Brie is, like she has been in this house that I guess she was referring to a lot. She had like a full studio. Josh always goes to the studio in LA.
She went to someone in Barstool studio.
No, I'm saying up until this point, they never record in person, and it's completely fine. Like they all really, the 3 of them have premium setups that it's seriously like the toast. Like, but for the fact that it's fine that they weren't together, but 2 out of 3 of them were. Where the hell was that? Was the scariest looking studio Brianna was in?
Milan, because he said he got on a plane to Milan when Brie called him.
But like he didn't even bring a podcast microphone. He was using his wired headphones. Like I was shocked, even though the quality was fine of the audio. The video was really blurry. And Brianna was like in a professional studio. Like, hello, a light.
Yeah,
I was shocked.
No, but that's BFF's pod. So much information in the podcast. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
What do you say? Without further ado, here are the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by State Farm. When you get a new car, a new home, the first thing you might find yourself saying is literally what? But really the words you want to be thinking or singing are, Jax, would you like to intro us today?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And State Farm is there. That's so true, Jax. They're there with the coverage that you need for your car, your home, even boats, motorcycles, RVs, and other things that matter to you. With a State Farm agent, you know that someone is there to help you choose the coverage that you need. And with so many coverage options, it really feels good knowing that you can find what fits for you. And when you need ways to get help, State Farm gives you options there too. You know, maybe you're like me, fast-paced, bright lights, big city type of girl, very technologically savvy, and you love to do everything on your phone. So with State Farm, you can get help on statefarm.com or on their award-winning app. Perhaps you're like Jax, you like to handle things in person, maybe on the phone with a local agent, very IRL vibes, a little bit more of a slower living. State Farm has got you covered there too. You can chat with them on the phone. You can meet up with them IRL. That's what we love about State Farm. No matter what kind of toaster, whether you're a Jax or a Claude, State Farm lets you do things your way. So when you need help protecting the things that matter most, remember to sing it like Jax and Claude do. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Beautiful.
You want to do one more? You want to do one more before we wrap?
No.
Okay, I will. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prolon. These days, a lot of people are learning about all the benefits of fasting, like weight loss, mental and physical performance, gut health, but of course they worry about the whole not eating part of fasting. Well, that's exactly why Prolon was created. Introducing Prolon, a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while making cells believe that they're fasting. Researched and developed for decades at the University of Southern California Longevity Institute and backed by leading U.S. medical centers, Prolon helps promote healthy blood sugar, supports cardiovascular health, and reduces abdominal fat. But Prolon isn't a diet. Prolon is science. It is science based on Nobel Prize-winning discoveries in medicine. And that's why so many people have been loving, and everyone really starts with the Prolon 5-day program and includes snacks, soups, beverages, and it is all designed to keep your body in a state of fasting without actually doing the fasting. Because like I said, you get snacks, soups, and beverages. It's really unlike anything you've ever experienced. And it's a no wonder why thousands of doctors now recommend Prolon to support healthy blood sugar and cardiovascular health. There are so many benefits to Prolon and, you know, the whole fasting thing, but obviously like that's a heavy lift for some people. Fasting is healthy, but it can be really challenging. But with Prolon, it's not. It's fasting with food. The 5-day program, snacks, soups, and beverages are all designed to activate your body's fasting state. It'll be unlike anything you ever experienced. And right now they are offering the Toast listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition program. So go to prolonlife.com/toast. That's PROLON life.com/toast for a very special offer. prolonlife.com/TOAST and check out that 15% off the 5-day nutrition program, which is really the most popular way to get started. The 5-day nutrition program at prolonlife.com/toast. Today's episode is also brought to you by Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is a streaming platform, the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's bests. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. You can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. So whether you're, wanting to get into comedy, you come from the business world, you're an actor, you're a chef, Masterclass is basically giving you a masterclass from the best of the best in the world. Pretty much any question you would have for this person, they are sitting them down and asking it. And it's really such a great way to like absorb information. Also, if you're gonna be spending so much time on your phone, like why don't you learn something? Watch a masterclass. Jackie also reminded me that it's an amazing gift to give to someone. I feel like there are a lot of people who are always trying to like better themselves, learn more. They're really into certain hobbies, whether it's like acting or, I mean, not me, but
cooking.
Some people, cooking, yeah.
I mean, I should give you a masterclass.
Yeah. And it's such a nice gift, like a membership for, X amount of time, like to really have that person hone their skills. And how many times in your life are you going to be able to like sit down and hear from Kris Jenner? Like when I watch a Kris Jenner one, I was like taking notes the entire time. They have Gordon Ramsay. So you can build your confidence through humor with icons like Kevin Hart, use improv to overcome your fears with Amy Poehler, turn your passion into achievements with Martha Stewart. Yeah, that's right. So classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their lives. Right now, our listeners are getting 15% off any annual membership, an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/toast. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/TOAST, masterclass.com/toast.
Thank you, /churt.
You're welcome.
Our first story, BFF's pod, Zach Bryan, Brianna Chickefry sat down to tell her story about the last year or so of her life with Zach Bryan, the last 2 weeks since they've broken up, and where we're at now. So I think the main theme from the podcast is that in the last few weeks since they broke up, his team has offered her $12 million to sign an NDA and not speak about the relationship, plus a house and an apartment in New York. The money would have been paid out over 3 years. She went back and forth with deciding whether or not to take the money, as did Dave and Josh. They did not know how to advise her.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting that she was like leaning on them. And, it's smart. Dave is a smart person, especially when it comes to money. So I thought that was wise of her. In the end, she decided not to take the money. And I think that really shocked a lot of people. And I think it also shocked a lot of people who maybe have never been in a relationship like that because, $12 million is $12 million. But I was reading because someone in the toast was like, would you have taken the money? And all these people were commenting and everyone was like, honestly, yeah. But then people were like, no, I've been in a relationship like this. And like, there's no amount of money that you can't put a price on your own freedom. Like,
yeah,
when you're out of it, like no amount of money is even enticing to you. Like to have your voice stripped from you you were in a relationship for a whole year where your voice was stripped from you. So like, I think it's really unbelievable to a lot of people. Then a lot of people are like, well, she's rich, she's famous. And actually, Barstool notoriously like pays their talent like not a lot of money. If she was a podcaster and an influencer like free of a Barstool contract, she probably would make a lot of money. But she makes a salary from Barstool that I'm sure is, generous, but it's not what people probably think someone at that level makes. So many interesting things. I mean, when her Barstool contract was up and he offered her double the money to not work there.
Yeah.
Just to lay around and follow him.
I'm so proud of her that even in the relationship, when she was still like under his spell, that she said no to that because
that was shocking.
He was making her like hate, she said, herself, her job, or her coworkers. So I'm so glad that she said no to that. But I also think dollars and cents wise, of course, like you don't want to take the money because I can't be bought and like my story and my truth, like you can't silence me. But I also think when you break it down, like $4 million over 3 years for an influencer at her level. I know she has a Barstool contract, but I think Dave is going to be very generous with her. He said he would buy her Bronco. He said he would give her the money. I think all of the money made from yesterday's episode will go to Ms. Chickenfry, LLC.
Because there was a lot of ads, and I have some notes for Dave on reading ads. But yeah, there was Game Time. There was Raising Cane's.
There was also YouTube ads.
Yep.
I think they made a lot of money on that episode. I think we'll all go to her. Maybe even all the diss track stuff would go to her. I think she'll make a lot of money. And we read the creator list recently. And if you're a pretty big size creator, you can be making about like $2 million a year if you're decent at the job. So like, I think over time she can out earn that money. But if she signed it and she didn't tell the story, and as Dave said, like BFF's pod was going to end soon anyway, and especially if she didn't share anything about the breakup because she couldn't, I think that would affect her career in the same way that the last year affected her career, where she wasn't being herself.
And it really affected the BFF's pod. I was shocked to hear them say that. Like, I received that, like, just as a consumer. I feel like it kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
But for Dave to say, like, yeah, we were going to end it, one, because, like, I'm a little too old to be talking about, like, internet drama, but, like, two, like, we weren't, like, doing much.
Yeah. So I think that if she signed the NDA and, like, didn't share the truth, that it would affect her earning potential because people were sort of, like, waning in their interest from her. And
well, that's the other thing. That's what's so fucked up about this whole thing is, like, he made her into a version of herself that like the internet hated. And if you could, like, the reception on TikTok before she started dating Zach Bryan and now after is so different. Like, she really, like, that's valuable. That's part of your job, how people see you, how they engage with you, how they follow you. And like, for him to have stripped that from her, like, it's so textbook abuse and like isolating you from your friends and family, from your career, from your job. It's so many things that he stripped from her. And the fact that she's only been out of it for 2 weeks and she's able to see it so zoomed out. Jackie, she's 25.
Yeah.
Like, she's well, first of all, extremely smart and well-spoken, but like, just to see these things, like, I think it takes some people months and years to really kind of zoom out and understand what they went through and dissect random moments, being like, oh yeah, that was abuse, that was narcissism. Like, she kind of like woke up in an instant, and it's beyond impressive how mature she is for her age. I was shocked when I found out she was 25.
Yeah, very, very mature. And also, like, I liked what she said when it's like, there's obviously stuff about him that he doesn't want out there because that's what the $12 million is for. Like, whatever he's struggling with, whatever, you know, even just a lot of things. And she was like, I didn't not take the money so I could, like, tell all his secrets. I didn't take the money so I can say what happened to me, what I experienced, and I could, like, go forth and tell my story. But she's not spilling his secrets and sharing all the dirty details about him. And that's why, like, she really is being so respectful about it as much as she can, while also, like, she had a public relationship, she's having a public breakup, and so if she wants the public, like, to care for her still and, like, be invested, like, she also has to do that last chapter, which she wouldn't have been able to do. And if there wasn't that, then that's not what being an influencer is.
No, because she still is protecting him, and she's not. You know, when you break up with somebody,
she even protected him by telling us that he called them idiots and not
our words. Yeah, that was interesting.
And you could see when she read the text, when Dave read the text at a screenshot, she's like holding her head because she's like, she's even protecting him because now people know he uses that word, and like, now we know.
For him to have gone up to, like, if you would have asked me, like, how much money do you think Zach Bryan offered Brianna to, like, not talk about I would have said, like, maybe $2 million. The fact that it was 12 is indicative of something greater, right? And she's not, but he's such an idiot, because if he had just ended the relationship with a modicum of decency and respect, she obviously has a lot of love for him. She would not have gone, she would have probably continued to protect him and talked about it in her personal life, but that's it. He's such an idiot to do the whole thing via text, speak to her so fucking disgusting. Even when they're showing screenshots, get your shit out. Like, fucking monster. Like, if he had just acted with the smallest bit of grace, they would seriously, we would not be here. We would not be having this conversation, and he wouldn't have even needed to pay her.
He could have even, like, broken up with her, went to Oklahoma, had the conversation over text, just not been on Raya, let her announce the breakup when she wanted to, and let her, like, go forth and heal. But yeah, it would have saved him $12 million potentially, and then also whatever this is about to do.
Right.
To his
she
career.
Gave him a lot of rope, and he hung himself with it. Like, he is so dumb. Every little window into who he was. Okay, so you didn't get to this story. I can't believe they saved it to the end, Jackie. It was so shocking. Two things. One, you know, one morning she woke up and was singing "Last Night We Let the Liquor Talk," and literally they didn't talk for a week. You singing someone else's song in my house, in my apartment that I paid for? Like, fucking crazy lunatic, okay?
Oh my God.
But this other story, like, is really, and all the stories she told her obviously is something that she's comfortable sharing. And when in the first clip, she was talking about how there was a night in, I think, December. She was like, unspeakable things happened. I don't know what happened, but, like, I feel like she's still not sharing, like, really what like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was different forms of abuse, like,
right,
because she wasn't sharing all that. But the story she told at the end is, like,
so
for her
December
birthday,
being like 11 months ago. I was having a hard time with the timeline.
I know, so was I. Hold on, December being 11 months ago.
Because we're only in November.
Yeah. Okay. So it's her birthday. He's on tour, you know, and as a gift, he, like, rented this, like, huge house on the water in New Hampshire for her family and her friends and her to all go. And then he's like, I'm gonna come. And she's like, oh, okay, great. And then, like, the whole time leading up, he's, like, complaining, like, I'm gonna be tired, like, I've worked so hard. She's like, don't come, please, don't come. Of course he comes. The first night they're doing, like, you know, bonfire and beers, like, chill, you know, she's, like, kind of, like, earthy like that. All of her friends are sitting around, they're sitting around the fire, and, like, she could just tell, like, it's gonna be bad. He is, like, making little jabs at people, like, not being the kind of boyfriend. And she was, like, kind of panicked about it. So she was like, okay, I'm going to bed. It was 11:30. And she thought he would follow her, and he didn't. So she goes upstairs and she does go to sleep. She's just like, I can't handle this. She wakes up an hour and a half later, like, screaming, smashing glass, like, what the fuck's going on? She runs downstairs. Everyone's, like, hiding in the basement. All of her girlfriends hysterically crying. And she's like, what the fuck's going on? She looks outside. Her aunt, like, her old lady aunt, is, like, holding him back, like, trying to get him to calm down. Apparently, like, while they were all sitting at the bonfire, like, he just snapped. Like, nobody was doing anything. He snapped. He's like, you're all low lives. You'll never accomplish anything in your life. I'm successful. You're not. Like, probably, like, having a chip on his shoulder that he paid for this house. Like, I literally don't know. And she was like, I couldn't even go out there. Like, when he would get like this, like, there's no coming back from him. You kind of have to just, like, let him deactivate. But all of her friends were, like, filming him, just, like, have on record for Brianna, like this crazy, toxic, abusive behavior. It's a huge fight, whatever. He goes back on tour. She comes with him. And like the fact that her friends had filmed him, like obviously had really bothered him. She was like, that's why they offered me so much money, part of it. Like I have all this footage, like from nights like this.
Yeah.
But every time for like the next couple of weeks following that event, like when they would be together, he would literally walk off stage onto the bus to see her and like start filming her. You like that? You like when I film you in your private? Like fucking crazy. Fucking crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was a story she told at the end. Everybody was just sort of like, wow. Like the reception. I mean, there's nothing to say. I thought that Josh and Dave did a good job of like being supportive. But like there's no correct way to respond to something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a really good job of being supportive while also like being angry on her behalf.
Mm-hmm. And she wasn't angry. She was just sort of like sad.
Yeah. No way.
And by the way, and I'm glad she addressed it. She looked frail. Like the light from her eyes had died. She looked so thin. And she was like, I lost 15 pounds that I did not have to lose. Like she's always been a very skinny girl. My first thought when I saw her was like, her bones are sticking out of her jeans.
Yeah.
And like that's what a relationship like that does to you.
Right. And that's what happened in the relationship. And then the last 2 weeks have also been really hard. Like, and also asking yourself like the biggest question of like the money versus, and the thing is, even if she had taken the money, like it's not like I would not judge. I mean, one, we wouldn't know, but two, I would not judge at all. Like she said, she doesn't come from much. Like her family will never see that amount of money in their lives.
That was really sad to hear, like talking about how like turning down that type of money, like
her family was like, take the money.
She grew up vacationing in like a trailer park. Like this is somebody who did not grow up like this. So you have to be incredibly principled and scrupled to turn that kind of money down and like look your parents in the face and them telling her to take it is completely understandable.
Yeah. Like it's not like a hypothetical, like that's real money. And she said I was ready to take the money and I was like ready to sign and they actually were slow in sending me everything and weren't going to send me the money like that day. That's why Dave was like, send her the money. And in that moment, like she was like, okay, never mind. So if they had moved faster, she said, they're stupid. If they had moved faster, like it would have been done.
Yeah, I can only imagine like what he's really truly hiding. Obviously, there's some sort of alcohol abuse. I'll imagine you get violent when you drink. Like your mind goes to a million places because she's not really sharing like I think the worst of it. Even though the stuff she's sharing is so fucking horrible. I hate this fucking guy. He better hope we never run into each other. Like I'm throwing hands. And so ugly to act like that. Like I'm sorry, you can't act like that if you're that ugly. If your head is that square, you can't.
Yeah.
And you know he's not 5'11". He's not.
He's not, no. Right. He paid off that site.
He paid off that website because so many people were like, I've taken pictures of him. I'm 5'7". He's literally 2 inches taller than me. Okay. So he's short, square-headed fuck. I fucking hate this guy. Like I was actually, and this isn't a situation like I can relate to. So I don't know if this is the right word, but I was actually triggered like listening to it. Just, it's so textbook. It's also like imperceptible, right? It's not like she walked into a room with a bruise on her face. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you're not being abused. It's verbal abuse. It's really mental abuse. It's emotional abuse. Like it's so hard
psychological, hot and cold and you don't know what you're going to get and you're walking on eggshells and then the amount of love that you get kind of like tides you over for the next time. And even when it's bad, you're like, well, I know the love party's coming. So like, let's just weather the storm. As she said, and then like throwing deactivate him.
Fame and millions of dollars. Right. Like that's really fucks with the dynamic too.
And they're both famous and like she's got her own thing going that he can like wield against her.
Yeah, anything that brought her joy made him sick. Oh, I mean, the Golden Globes dress?
The tour, that's what ended their relationship. She took 2 weeks to do her tour.
After being on tour with him for a whole fucking year.
And he couldn't do that.
And I'm like
not only could he not, he was supposed to be with her. That was the plan. Right. Like that was their, that's what's equitable in their relationship. A year for him, 2 weeks for her. Sure, okay.
Yeah.
He couldn't be with her. He couldn't even just stay home.
Yep. Yeah. I'm kind of well known for my takes on cancel culture. Just know, like when I talk about cancel culture, I'm not talking about this. Like this is the exception. Like seriously, I want his record label to drop him. Like, and I know this will make seriously no impact on his career. Like as a male rock star, like this is the sort of behavior you let it slide. But he has so many female fans, and it was those female fans that like really tortured Brianna over the last year, like making horrible videos about her. And like, I want him done. I never want, like, I'm sorry, like you are an abuser. You don't get to like be famous anymore. Stop it.
I do really wonder how this will affect his career. He won't be dropped by his record label or anything like that, but like I wonder how it will affect fans. I wonder how it will affect his fellow artists at award shows. Like
Noah Khan is not fucking with him anymore.
Right, but also like he seems like a fucking piece of work, piece of shit. So like maybe he didn't have that many friends to begin with. But
oh wait, and then we have to talk about Rose and Deb.
Rose and Deb?
So Rose is his ex-wife.
Okay. And
then Deb was the girlfriend that he dated before Brianna, who like his fans loved. I think she was a toaster because people used to be like, Deb, Deb, Deb. I was like, who's Deb? And he broke up with her kind of now like looks really similar, like abruptly out of nowhere started dating Brianna.
But Brianna also maintains that he was broken up with her when they
yes,
got
that together. The timeline is totally kosher.
Because people said like they both broke up with their people to
that
be
they
together.
both cheated. Yeah. But now we know, I don't think when he got divorced from Rose, like he was liquid or famous enough to like pay her off. But I do imagine that Rose, who has been radio silent, like she's still like a content creator. So she went back to life, hair, makeup, like that's it. Never once spoke about anything. And it's clear that like maybe she got a settlement of sorts. And so I think Brianna feels like.
People said Rose is a toaster?
Deb
is ex-wife?
No, Rose's ex-wife.
But she does content?
Deb.
You just said, okay, you said Rose went back to hair and makeup. Okay. Deb is a toaster, she went back to hair and makeup. Rose was the military wife, right?
Yes, exactly. But he didn't have money at the time, so nobody would have cared. Who could she tell? Like, we don't care. But then he was really getting pretty famous while dating Deb. And I think it's like safe to assume that perhaps he settled with her.
Yeah.
And so I think Brianna feels like there other women who weren't in the position that she was in to not take the money. Like she can live and pay her rent and do things. You know, he makes them move out of their apartments, come live in my house, and everything's in his name. But it's like, we're moving near your family, so this is our house. Our kids are gonna live here. But then, boom, get out, get your shit and leave. Like, so someone who's not liquid like Brianna is, Brianna has a career, is fucking screwed. Yeah. So he kind of puts him in a position to have to take the money.
Why did Margot tell me that the past girlfriend got $1 million? She told me that.
Is that what Margot said?
Yeah,
I don't know
Margot
that.
Said. Let me ask her where she heard that.
Ask her how she knows.
This is what happens when Satch lives in my house. I know stuff.
It's so true. And like, I don't have to download and send TikToks. Jackie just goes down to Margot's room.
I do. I go to Margot's room and I'm like, pull up this one.
It's TikTok hour. Everybody turn off the lights.
Here, Deb got $1 million.
I didn't hear that, but it's possible.
Margot just knows stuff, you know?
It's so true. She's so young and connected.
She's probably talking to Deb.
For sure. Now, not to make everything about me, but my immediate thought like this morning was like really just genuine pride that I never disliked Brianna and I never liked SpongeBob SquareChin. Like I am so real for that. Like real sees real. And like I'm a forever fan of Brianna now. Like she's got charisma. She's got talent. I want the world for her. Like I need $12 million. I could wipe my ass with $12 million. That's what I need from Brianna.
Margot said she heard it in a TikTok. She's not sure how true it is. Okay.
Got it. Okay. So Margot spreading misinformation.
Right. Now I know I need to fact check her. I agree with you about Brianna. Now it's on us, like people who are
women
kind and loving.
The women who were so excited, happy, joyful to tear her down because she was living a life that they could only dream of. Meanwhile, it was a fucking nightmare.
Now it's on us to fill up Brianna's wallet.
Like, subscribe, download,
follow.
So true. I followed.
I want to watch her tour documentary.
Everything. And get her back on Surviving Barstool.
It's now up to us to make her realize that she made the right decision because not only in her heart, but also in her pocketbook, it will even out over time.
It's just really also a reminder about the internet because I think that a couple of months ago, you would have looked at this person, you know, plucked by a rock star, living a dream, private jets tour. Like this guy, everybody wants him. He's so ugly. They love him. They think he's so hot. Literally, you would have thought, like, I would give anything to be her, to be this life. It's a dream. Meanwhile, she's living a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So it's important to remember when consuming other people's lives. Like, of course, what do they say? Like, comparison is the thief of joy. Like, not only that, like, you have no fucking idea.
No, you can't compare when you don't know the truth.
You're getting 10% less.
Yeah, I followed her for a while, and I remember she like posted like happy birthday stuff for Zach, like the most glowing, loving, like enmeshed, like,
for him, for her too,
twin flame sort of thing. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, a perfect relationship. Like
it's a dream.
How amazing.
Yeah.
So, social media is not real, but you should already know that.
And one thing that I hope
everybody is fighting their own battles.
One thing that I hope she unlearns a little bit is she kept like taking responsibility. She's like, because she was telling a story about something crazy he did. She's like, and I went back, you know, and that's on me. She kept like taking responsibility because I think she's been so beat down by the internet, like take accountability. And so she sort of blames herself a lot for like believing him, for loving him, for, you know, getting swayed by him easily. And I think she really needs to like unburden herself from that. Like that's what abuse is. Like it's literally not your fault, it's his.
Yeah, I think over time she will. I think in 2 weeks, like you said, like she's already recognized it for what it was, which is like major strides, and that will be part of the next like phase of her healing, is recognizing that it wasn't her fault and that like this is what these people do. And she as much as it's like you have choices, like you could just leave, like she couldn't. Where is she going?
She couldn't.
Like, and he made her feel like nothing. Without him, she separated her from her family. So I think eventually like she'll unlearn that, but right now that's where she's at, especially because she knows that the haters' response is going to be like, well, you could have left, but why'd you stay? You're the one who went back. So she's like, that is on me that I stayed, that I went back. Eventually I think she'll see like technically yes, she had the choice to leave, but
the free
she didn't
will,
really have choices.
Yeah. I do wonder what this means for the future of the BFFs. Like, are they going to give it another go?
Well, they fucking better, until they make $12 million and then they can end the show.
Correct.
And so either they can wait till they make $36 million so that Brie gets her 12, or they can just give it all to Brie and wait till they make 12 and give it to Brie, and then they can move on. I wonder how they'll do it. Dave is really, like, I know he gets so much shit, but he is such a generous person. He really, like, rides so hard for the people that he cares about. And I feel like he gets so much shit for being, like, misogynist, whatever. Like, he's always, like, the women that, like, work for him, he's, like, always
they love
doing
him.
Right by them. Like, you couldn't ask for a better boss than what Dave is doing for her
especially
right
in
now.
in what she's gone through, like a better ally, like somebody, I'm sure like her, like she had legal help. Like, I don't know, where do you even get a lawyer to negotiate a fucking settlement with your ex-boyfriend?
No,
like,
and someone who's not scared of nothing, because another boss would be like, listen, this is a liability. We don't want this stink. They could sue the hell out of us. And he's like, we're telling the truth. You can't sue me. You think you're going to extort? You think I'm extorting you? You're bribing her. Like, just riding so hard for her and making her so unafraid, knowing that she has someone in her corner who has her back, which is really nice, but also has like,
who has a lot of
deep
resources.
Pockets.
Yeah, it's true.
Which
it's
is
true.
also important.
It's true. And I like that Dave said that. Like, it was important for him to know, like, you're not the only one who has money. Like, it's not a big deal. I have it too.
Yeah. You want to pay Brie? I'll pay Brie.
Right.
So I feel like he deserves a lot of credit for that. And he's always been that way.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good showing for him.
Do you also feel like so much of this is like Taylor Swift coded? Not only because they keep saying smallest man, but because like Zach Bryan like trashed her like 2 days ago. Parsley wrote Dave a letter.
And Brianna's, I was looking at her TikTok yesterday and people were like, you need to listen to the ex Taylor Swift song. Like, now you know what it's like. And she was like, you're so right. You're so right. She's going to become a big Swiftie because she's like not a Swiftie.
Yeah, because she was with him who's tweeting that stuff. Meanwhile, Parsley loves Dave.
Parsley loves Dave. So that's like probably a developing story. Oh, he keeps like releasing music. Like, girl, we don't care. Take your guitar and go cry. Like, we literally don't care. She literally shove it up your ass. Like, the hate. I went from being like so indifferent about this person. Like, I just kind of like never got into it. To it's my mission now to destroy his life. Like, I hate him.
No, I went from being like really sad about their breakup because I thought their relationship was something and like that it wasn't, to being so relieved about their breakup that now I need to remember this for the next like couple that I ship when they break up. Like, I need to realize like I need to have relief and not sadness, because when people get to a place of breaking up, like, that's a bad relationship.
It's true. It's true.
So I don't know if I'll ever learn that though.
And I feel like, you know, this phrase of love bombing, people have really, like, it started to lose its meaning. People are like, this guy's texting me so much, he's love bombing me. No, meeting someone 4 days later and getting a tattoo of them, that is love bombing.
Yeah. A lot of these terms have lost their meaning. And
narcissist.
That's really hard for the people who are going through it. Yeah, every guy that's, like, not acting in a kind manner is a narcissist. Like, that's not what it means. And we need to bring back meaning to those terms in it, because I feel like her situation is really textbook. Yeah. But when those words are always slung around, it's like, it's hard to really picture it.
Yeah.
So no, I agree with you about the love bombing. And also sometimes people like will be just being nice and they're like, they're love bombing. It's like,
yeah, no, and it's like girls like only want to date assholes. So when a guy's like nice and sends flowers after the first date, he's love bombing me. No, he's literally just nice.
And like, that's still true. but she was love bombed.
Correct.
Great. Well,
Great.
that's the first story. I agree that it's developing.
I'm sorry. I think that him waiting 3 days, yada, yada, a lot of it had to do with the election, they were saying, which I thought was so interesting. He really tried to bury this story. Meanwhile, Donald who? Kamala who gives a fuck? Literally, this, I feel like it's bigger than it ever could have been. Even like people actually are so desperately seeking a distraction from the election that I actually think he so did himself a disservice. He played this so wrong, but I thought it was so interesting how they really tried to like maneuver with the election.
Yeah, if he had gotten it done before the election, then the election would have happened and we would have forgotten. But like in this kind of dry spell post-election,
celebrities aren't doing much.
This is all we've got.
It's true. It was actually really
It's bigger than
timing.
ever.
Obsessed.
Yeah, me too. So just rooting for Brie.
Constantly. Number one fan. Should we start I'm going to start literally like a fan page. Like just hyping her up.
Yeah. Are you ready for our next story?
Like if I have to talk about something else, sure.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
It's good. It's some holiday cheermeister because the SKIMS holiday campaign has dropped and it is starring Goldie Hawn and her kids, Kate and Oliver Hudson, and then their kids. So it's like a big Hawn Hudson family affair SKIMS campaign.
Really cute. So different, unexpected. Like if you said SKIMS is going to tap like a classic family, I don't know who I would have thought of. I wouldn't have thought like the Hudsons, but they really are so famous across like different age generations, and Oliver and the kids.
Oliver.
Like it was really cute. I love Oliver.
Oliver doesn't mean as much to anyone as he does to us.
Yeah, for some reason, like we are obsessed with him.
I don't know.
And
well, he's in a lot of stuff, but there's something.
But he was in something we watched. He played someone's ex-husband.
He was in something we watched that's like one of our movies.
Wait, was he in Daisy Jones?
But that wouldn't be why we love him. Like he's in plenty of stuff.
Read his IMDb.
He's in Nashville.
Excuse me?
For 6 years. Yeah.
Excuse me?
That might have been the one. I think he was in Scream Queens too, but I remember already loving him when I knew he was going to be in Scream Queens.
I feel like I really started to like him from his social media.
That too. And then they do the podcast.
Yeah, and I want to say something. I actually think it's crazy that they've never invited us on their podcast.
That's true.
Because they only invite siblings, and like there aren't a lot of siblings, especially siblings who podcast. Like our podcast is bigger than theirs. Like why would I keep waiting to be like invited on that show? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, but then we'd have to go on it.
I mean, it's facts. We always start complaining like we don't get invited, we don't come, and then we get invited, and we literally say no.
We just want to be invited. We don't want to go.
We just want to be thought of.
Yeah, it's really true. And that people could take solace in that, like knowing we're the type of
we're
people
not gonna
that if
come.
you invite us, we won't come. Like we'll save you the plate.
So you look like a good guy, and then you don't have to see us.
And then we are not like chippy about you.
Chippy. I thought this was really well done. Like I loved the whole aesthetic of it, like the green plaid pajamas. They were like at this like country club looking type of brunch. It was really very cute and well. I mean, they just fucking crush it. Like the celebrity endorsements department of skims.com is so top tier. Mm-hmm. I have no notes, and I have notes for everyone.
Yeah. I wonder if they have really big budget, or it's like they have decent budget, but Kim has good relationships and it's an honor to be thought of.
Yeah, I think that they're not like, paying people extreme amounts, but I don't think they're lowballing people. I think they're giving fair offers, but there's so much that comes with, it's not just the campaign. It's really like the hype, the social media, like you get numbers, you get followers. It's such a relevant kind of internet first brand that for a podcaster, like you do it.
Yeah. And they're just a couple of podcasters after all.
And they're just coming off of like banger after banger between the Tate McRae, Olivia Munn, and I'm sure they're gonna have a bunch of holiday stuff.
Yeah, Tate McRae was technically holiday. Also, I meant to say we should go to Oliver and Kate's podcast for Halloween ideas because they have siblings on.
That's a fucking great idea. Just go through all their guests.
Let them do the legwork.
I love that.
Someone remind us next year that we said that.
Please.
Are you ready for our next story? Mm-hmm. Just going to take a negative turn, if I may.
Oh, okay, let's get negative. My favorite.
Liam Payne's friend, hotel employee, and alleged drug dealer have been charged in connection to the singer's death. Liam Payne's friend, a hotel employee, and an alleged drug dealer have been charged in connection to the former One Direction member's death, the National Crime and Correctional Prosecutor's Office announced in a press release on Wednesday. The friend, who was not identified but reportedly presented himself as Payne's manager, was charged with abandonment for allegedly failing to inform the late singer's family that he had suffered a drug relapse. Police reportedly tried to get in touch with the Argentine businessman when Payne fell to his death on October 16th via a cell number that hotel managers had provided, but he did not pick up the phone. A lawyer from a major firm reportedly showed up later to inquire whether the friend faced any charges, which led to the businessman testifying as a witness. A judge then decided that the friend had allegedly breached his duty of care with respect to Payne. He now faces a sentence of 5 to 15 years in prison for abandonment. Meanwhile,
that's really crazy. I didn't know that like you could be held responsible.
Yeah, it is really crazy. I mean, I don't know what the laws are in another country, and if the same would apply here, but to me, that seems unfair. Like,
I tend to agree. In this country, if you sell me drugs and I die, are you responsible?
You can go to jail. That's like what's going on with Matthew Perry now.
Right. Okay.
So the drug dealer...
But you're going to jail, like, not for drug dealing, but for murder? Manslaughter, whatever you want to call it?
I think so, yes.
That's pretty crazy, no? I mean, like, you shouldn't be dealing drugs.
You shouldn't be dealing drugs, and you should be punished for dealing drugs. It's not a hard thing to discuss, but it's, like, kind of hard to, like, say publicly. Like, you know, on a podcast, because I think, like, there would be a lot of judgment from people if I said what I was thinking.
Like, I feel like, because I didn't know, like, if you sold someone drugs and they ended up dying from those drugs, like...
You should be going to jail because you are a drug dealer and that is illegal.
Right. Does that make you a murderer? I don't know. Is this like a bad hot take? I've never thought about it.
I think there's a lot of discourse about it, but I think that to say more than that, like, I think we would just get shit for. So,
okay.
I'm just, like, not in the mood. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Especially because my thoughts would be, like, half-baked.
You know, I'm just now discovering this, so I need to, like, sit on it before I come to, like, a full conclusion.
Yeah.
Feel free to influence me in the comments. Like,
yeah, what do you think?
Which way should we feel?
Should we be charging them with manslaughter?
See, I know, like a doctor, like Michael Jackson's doctor, right? Like, I know that, but that's because, like, you're a doctor, not a drug dealer.
Yeah.
So that I understand completely. But I guess I have, like, lower expectations for drug dealers. I don't know.
Yeah, but also, like, when you're a doctor, like, you are asserting your authority over someone.
I know, like, you took an oath to protect and make the best decisions on behalf of your patient.
Yeah.
And killing them with drugs is not that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I
think even more so, this businessman manager, like
yes, I guess because he's going to jail because he didn't tell his family that he relapsed.
Right, and like if you were to trace it back, like could things have gone differently if he did? Yes. And does that make him responsible? I don't know.
By the way, like the girlfriend who left a few days before, like if she had been there, would she be charged?
Probably. It sounds like they've got some unique laws over there.
That's really crazy. Thank God she
left.
left.
I also haven't heard from her a lot.
But she also said like leaving is my biggest regret. But now like knowing everybody's going down around him, she shouldn't have been there.
And also like really, what could she have done?
Right. But also, I'm out of my depth here.
As am I. It's hard when something like this happens because you so desperately want to blame someone and someone to be held responsible just because it makes you feel better. Mm-hmm. But in a situation like this, it's like, okay, we could blame the hotel guy who sold him drugs, the manager who didn't tell his family that he had relapsed. But at the end of the day, like, it might have still happened.
Yeah.
If he couldn't get drugs from this person, he would have gotten from that person. His family would have held an intervention. He would have said, go fuck you. Like, you never know.
Right.
So it's hard to place blame, even though it feels good to do that.
Yeah, I agree. But in this situation, it actually doesn't like feel like justice at all. It feels
like
a little
bit like a stretch.
Yeah. At least for me.
Me too.
Are you ready for our next story, number 4?
Do you think I am?
I think you are.
I don't think I am.
I think you are not.
Brought to you by Amazon Live. So Amazon Live is an incredible shoppable video platform where you can explore the hottest products while connecting with the biggest influencers, you know, like myself. You'll get to see products in action and shop as much as you watch. So Amazon Live has everything from beauty essentials, live get ready with me demos, try on hauls, and product demonstrations so you can feel confident about your Amazon purchases. That's like a great benefit. Obviously, Amazon's like fun to watch your favorite girlies get ready and then like buy their makeup, but it's so great, especially for clothing, to like see the products in real life on someone's body before you buy it. I feel like you can never get that when you're shopping. It brings a lot of peace of mind if you're like doing a big haul. So with Amazon Live, you'll be able to ask questions in the live chat, have fun with whoever is streaming. If you like gossip, there's plenty of it with reality stars like Kyle Richards, Lala Kent, Madison LaCroix, Candy Burris, and of course, Toast co-host Paige DeSorbo, who has a new show on Amazon Live. She's inviting guests into her bed where they're going to gossip, share nighttime beauty routines, cook snacks from the comfort of her fluffy bed, and it's all shoppable on Amazon. So Ben and I have done Amazon Lives where we're cooking, very Rachel Ray, doing our favorite, all of our home essentials are from, especially our kitchen ones are from Amazon. So it's like really fun to share that. Me and Margot do like, fashion ones, beauty ones. I love doing them. You can follow me if you'd like. You can head to amazon.com/The Toast where you'll find all of our Amazon Lives along with Paige DeSorbo's new show, In Bed with Paige DeSorbo. You can also stream and shop Amazon Live's new live TV channel on Freevee or Prime Video under the DIY section, and you'll be able to shop along on your phone while you watch. Such a fun way. Like we're scrolling and we're shopping, like doing it together. Premium. Today's episode is also brought to you by Taylor Farms. Taylor Farms chopped salad kits deliver the freshest, best tasting salads to eat at home or on the go. Taylor Farms is a family-owned company on a mission to create healthy lives through fresh, delicious food, and their chopped salad kits defy boring in every bag with over 30 flavors and even mini salads. Each base is a unique blend of fresh greens, veggies, created to perfectly complement the toppings and dressing to deliver the best tasting, flavor-forward salad kits. Jackie, I know you are not like normally a bag salad kind of girl. I wouldn't.
That's not how I saw myself before. I
wouldn't look at you and say that girl eats salad from a bag, but every time I'm talking to you, you're eating a Taylor Farm salad.
It's true, and I personally don't eat it out of the bag, though you can do that and put all the toppings in and shake it up.
It's so perfect for a gal on the go.
It is. I do like to plate mine in a really big bowl and feel really fancy, and it's chopped to perfection. I love the toppings. I love the dressings. I love the flavor combinations. Like Taylor Farms is one of the best things that's ever happened to me, and I'm really not being dramatic.
They're pre-washed, pre-cut, and ready to enjoy, like seriously hassle-free. Their salads make healthy eating easy and delicious. Taylor Farms chopped salad kits are available at all major grocery stores. Yeah, they don't need to like list off different retailers because they slay the house down boots. It's giving nationwide. And it's true. Once you like are aware of Taylor Farms, you really will see them everywhere. So good to have on hand. Obviously for yourself, but also like if you're throwing a dinner party, like once they make the salad, just like get a Taylor Farms. It's going to be better than anything you would have made. So Taylor Farms chopped salad kits are available at all major grocery stores. Feel free to check them out. Today's episode is also brought to you by Saks.com, the premier digital platform for luxury fashion. With the holidays right around the corner, Saks.com is making it easy to find the perfect gifts for even the pickiest on our lists. Also, if you're just like shopping for yourself, like screw everybody else, screw your sisterhood, some would say, Saks.com has got you covered there too, because everybody, it's like kind of exhausting being invited to so many fabulous events this holiday season. Like, what are we wearing? Are we outfit repeating? No, we're taking lots of pictures. So treat yourself. Like, you're going shopping for everybody else. Like, throw yourself an Allison Olivia dress at Saks.com. Like, just add it to your cart. You really won't regret it. They have the best designers. They have you covered with the most versatile selection of fashion, beauty, home decor, and so much more. Gift giving is not everyone's love language. Some of us are better at it than others. It can definitely be daunting and stressful, especially with the holiday season and especially shopping in person. So, like, doing it in advance on Saks.com is so civilized, and you'll really... Their website is so premiumly like curated. You'll really be able to find what you need, whether you're looking for fashion, whether you're looking for home, whether you're looking for shoes. You can treat yourself to top designer brands like Allison Olivia, Frame, Prada, Gucci. After all, holiday shopping is never complete without, spoiling yourself a little bit. So if you're looking for gifts that will help you win the holidays, head to Saks.com now for a seamless shopping experience. Whether you're shopping for loved ones, treating yourself to something special, Saks.com will give you endless inspiration that will enhance your holiday season. So get ready to be the best gift giver ever and find gifts guaranteed to bring joy to every hard to shop for person this season at Saks.com. Let's make this holiday season memorable for you and your loved ones. And also there's nothing worse than like having a reputation within your family. It's like being a not great gift giver. So let's reset. Shopping at Saks.com is kind of like foolproof. You will get something that pretty much is guaranteed to get liked, and then like you'll get better gifts in return. So selfishly, you should be shopping at Saks.com for those reasons.
Thank you, Turd.com.
You're welcome.
Our next story, another day, another Martha update, because...
What is Queen? Oh, I'm obsessed with this story.
Martha Stewart said that the New York Post reporter who covered her trial was dead now, thank goodness. But turns out she's not dead. She's very much alive.
And she saw what Martha said, and she's rebutting.
Yes. So in the film, Martha talked about how the New York Post columnist who covered Stewart's trial was dead now, thank goodness, except she isn't. The journalist's name is Andrea Pizer, and she used her latest column for the newspaper to declare, "I'm alive, bitch." She started working for the New York Post in 1989 and has published at least 8 other stories in 2024. She said, "News of my passing came as a shock," she said of her uncredited cameo appearance. She said, "but rather feeling angry or worried that Martha has offed me or to seek an emergency order of protection, I am overwhelmingly sad in the face of Martha's bitterness."
Okay,
Loser.
I wasn't really interested in what she said.
But she's
like,
alive.
But her being alive is definitely like an interesting anecdote in this story. I'm choosing to believe Martha's version. I love what's
that
more,
she's dead?
Yeah, like what's more mean than like not only are you not dead, like you're so irrelevant I thought you were dead. Like It's such a slay. And Martha didn't mean that way, because they say the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Like, I don't even think about you because I thought you were dead. Like, it's really and the fact that this woman is alive is truly neither here nor there. Like, it's Martha wins. Martha stays winning.
She really does. And like, now having the privilege of hindsight on this situation and knowing that like what Martha did was a big nothing burger, and that this woman was reporting it like gleefully that Martha was going to jail for this. She's the villain in this story. No one is like feels bad for you that like Martha you're dead. You have to get an order of protection. Like, seriously, shut up, Loserville.
Population you. I couldn't agree more. Like, the way I don't care.
Like,
oh, you're alive? That's great. We don't care.
No, we don't care.
Give Martha back her millions, then we'll talk.
Yeah. Until, like, we have to stay consuming Martha Stewart and Brianna Chickefry. They should have a show together that we can all just like
donate, like a live call-a-thon where we all just call. I'd like to donate $5,000 to Martha and Brianna,
and we just leave the channel on. Like, I go out of my house, but I leave it on so it keeps like streaming and getting plays and advertiser revenue to finally pay back these women. Billions. And then Brianna can come off the air when she hits 12 million. Martha will be sat there for a few
Martha won't
years.
rest. Yeah. Works for me.
Works for me too. Works for me too. Are you ready for our fifth and final story?
I am.
Just a little random Bravo news. Little update. Because Bravo was hitting pause on The Real Housewives of Dubai after 2 seasons.
Oh.
Yeah, Bravo has put a pause on Real Housewives of Dubai. The most current season starred bunch of women, and the cast was told a couple days ago the 3rd season of the reality series would not be happening at this time.
I'm shocked. Not that I think that it's so good that it should be on pause, but people really seem to have liked the 1st season. Like, I actually remember not watching it and feeling like a little FOMO because like all my friends were talking about it. I haven't heard much about the 2nd season. But I think if they were to put anything on pause, I have heard the most horrible things about this season of Real Housewives of New York. Like, I like end up on like recap podcasts, like seriously talking about how people want to shoot themselves when they watch it. Like, it's dreadful. And so what I thought you were about to say was that they're putting it on pause because it's been so poorly received and the ratings were like abysmal. But I guess not.
No, I guess they'll just, trudge through that. But when I hear this about Dubai, like my mind obviously goes to, okay, well, Caroline Stanbury is available. Housewives of London is picking up. Like, I do think it's time for Caroline to move back to London and join the cast there. However, I also saw Architectural Digest was at her new villa in Dubai that like she built and outfitted with her new husband. Like, she's very much living there. That doesn't work for me.
She's putting down roots.
She got a new house. Like, it's customized to like to a T. They're obviously like very happy and very much living there.
Shit.
But it's time to go back to London. They need you.
Was she on Real Housewives of Dubai?
Yes, Caroline Stanbury.
Okay. Yeah, I thought she was, but I forgot. Like, this doesn't affect my life, and based on the fact that I didn't even hear this news, I don't think it affects a lot of other people, and that's why it's being put on pause. But it speaks again to like this weird, Jersey's on pause, New York is in the gutter. Actually, OC is having a fabulous season. I've been hearing fabulous things about Jen.
Yeah, like because of John
and Jen, too. This new girly Jen, they're loving her, who has like a drama with Shohei Ohtani. But New York's on pause. Jersey is like indefinitely. They don't know if they're coming back. Beverly Hills is on its way. So it's, again, this conversation, and I won't get into it, that we talk about seriously once a quarter, is like, where do we go from here?
But there are places to go because Sex Lives and Mormon Lives did it.
And you can too.
You can find like relevant women, housewives, mothers who are going to flourish in the digital age, and it can all work.
So those were the Fast Five. When it comes to Queenie and Weenie, it would actually be insulting to the intelligence of our listeners to say anything other than biggest weenie of every week for the rest of my life is Zach Bryan. Seriously, only sending bad vibes your way and hope literally everything bad happens to you. Like, I fucking hate you. And Queenie, of course, Brianna Chickenfry handled this entire saga like a queen. So much maturity, so much honesty, so much vulnerability, and really to see someone at 25 like make the decisions that she has made in the last week, it is admirable. I think she's becoming a great role model for young women, honestly, and I'm sending her positive vibes and only good things her way. Only good things. Where can we mail the check? Yeah, just let us know. Just let us know how we can support Chickenfry endeavors.com. That's our show, you guys. That's our week. Hope everybody enjoyed the week and has a great weekend. We will see you on Monday. Thank you so much for listening to The Toast, the Millennial Morning Show, where we all deliver. I guess we're all doing it.
I think we all
deliver the fast 5 stories that you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. So Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places where you listen to podcasts. Find us a Toast 5-star review about how beautiful, stunning, and wickedly talented we are. We will see you on Monday.
Love ya. Bye.